Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are here again with our latest demo car, this Renault 5 E-tech, which we introduced to the channel a few episodes ago. Now in the previous episode, you would have seen that we upgraded the audio in this car, which was really poor as a stock audio system. And now we have an Audison 5-channel amp and Harman Kardon speakers front and back and a JBL sub. If you've not watched that episode, there's a link on the screen and there's a link in the description below. Make sure you give that a watch. Now today, it's all about suspension. As you can see, this car is sitting a little bit too high for our liking. So the plan today is to get it on the ramp and get it sitting a little bit lower. Let's get into it. That's right guys, we are going to lower our Renault 5 E-tech. Now there are a couple of options. We can go coilover or we can go air ride. Coilover suspension has been done already in a few different countries, but nobody's put a Renault 5 E-tech on air. So we need to be the first in the world. And guess what? That's what the plan is for this R5. We've spent the last few months developing a kit because there is not an off-the-shelf kit available for a Renault 5 E-tech because it's such a new car. And we have the kit here today. So before we get the car on the ramp and the engineers start stripping the wheels and the suspension, let me grab Jay and let me show you the new X-Low suspension kit and the Airlift ALP 4 management. What's happening?
What are you saying?
Right.
Renault 5.
This has been on the cars for a few months now. We've had this car since April, and literally straight away, the first thing we did was get the car on the ramp because we knew there was no suspension kit or there were no struts available to lower this car. So Jay has spent the last few weeks with the sales team, with Sean and Palm, going backwards and forwards with our suppliers in the Far East to develop a kit. And here we have it, the world's first air ride kit manufactured by X-Low Suspension. And if you look here, it says Renault 5 E-tech 2024 onwards. Now, Jay, was this a challenge or was it fairly straightforward?
It was a challenge. There's a number of measurements, so obviously the length is one. This is great because these are threaded bodies, so we can adjust the strut longer or shorter as we need it. The other one is it's got the anti-roll bar tabs on the shock, so I needed them to be mounted onto the shock.
In the correct place?
Yeah, in the correct place, so the OE ones can obviously go back in or use short ones. Then the other one is the distance between these two tabs, which actually hold the strut onto the hub itself.
Right.
So obviously they ask for every measurement, so the width here, the centers from each pitch here, how much gapping I need from the strut to out. So it's not just about making a couple of plates and slapping a few welds on it, that's it, and off you go. So we needed to make sure this is literally a bolt-on kit. So we could physically take the Renault 5 suspension out and literally put this one in with little to no effort. You
got to say, actually, the R&D and the manufacture of this kit is second to none. Just look at that finish, you know, the bags, the rings here, everything is just amazing. So in this box here, I'm assuming there are four struts?
Yeah, so when we had the car on the ramp, we obviously looked at the front and rear, and the front and rear are the same. So this will be the front and rear kit,
right?
All round.
Makes life a little bit easier.
That's it, yeah.
Okay, so that's the suspension. Now, if you do follow us, you would have seen that Airlift Performance have just released their all-new controller. It's called the ALP 4, and we have it here. And this is a beautiful bit of kit. We already have installed one of these in our E30 LTO. So the plan is to install the new manifold and the new controller in the R5, along with the X-Low suspension struts. Car's here, suspension's there, manifold's there.
Get cracking.
Here are the keys. I'll see you later.
Nice
I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. So back in the workshop, and I've got to say the guys have wasted no time in stripping the Renault 5. All 4 corners, suspension is already off. Jay's over here working away. Jay, sorry mate, can I grab you for a minute? Getting the stock shocks off and struts off, was that a challenge?
No, lovely.
Brand new car?
Brand new car. A little bit dirty, but not dirty at all.
So you've already put a sticker on them. That's the front right, I'm assuming. You grab that one. Lovely, fresh Renault 5 strut. And
that's
we have the new Exlo strut, which we did show you earlier on in the video. Obviously, difference in size, but this is wound all the way.
That's wound all the way in, so don't worry about the length of that now, and this is fully compressed out, so there's no weight on this spring, so when the cars actually sit on it, these would be more compressed. So by the time we dial in the height, it'll be fine.
But one thing actually, which Jay did mention earlier on in the video, is if you look at the brackets, the mounts, this is what we've had to liaise with our suppliers in the Far East to ensure that these mounts, the actual distance between the hole, the actual bracket, line up to the original and line up to that as well.
Anti-roll bar tabs as well.
These are the new ones that we're going in. The stock struts are already out. Let's now talk about location of the manifold. Now, I know you've already run the manifold cables and so on, which are already here, and that's for the new ALP 4.
Yeah, initially I was gonna run it all underneath the vehicle, but because it's the new manifold, we're going to have it on display. Obviously, we've got your amplifier for the audio upgrade we've done as well, so I may show that as well, or I may hide it.
Potentially have the compressor in the boot as well?
Yeah, I might.
And then maybe just hide the tank underneath?
Tank away, which is the largest component of the air side.
Okay. It looks like, guys, that we're speeding along very, very, very quickly. You know, fingers crossed that the new struts just fit in place. And I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of adjustment that you need to fettling.
Only minor bits, but I'm pretty confident there should be literally a bolt-on replacement.
Okay, nice one. I'll leave you to it.
Yeah, nice.
In a bit. Cool. That's right, guys, the Renault 5 is finally bagged. So let's talk about how this car drives, because ultimately that is the most important thing. Well, first and foremost, I can tell you that the suspension feels firmer, but not overly firm. The OEM suspension, I found it to be very soft, very wishy-washy, really uncompliant. Round corners, it was a bit like a barge. So we have installed the new Airlift Performance ALP 4 management. So that's with the new controller, and I'll show you the controller and the installation when we get back to CAS HQ. We have height sensors as well, which will help the Renault 5 remain flat through corners and even on normal roads where you've got undulation and camber and so on. It's transformed it from just a boring EV to, dare I say it, a hot hatch. It feels somewhat like a 90s hatch should drive. I'm impressed. Drives exceptionally well. Now, challenges. Well, the suspension was fairly straightforward. As I mentioned, there were a few little minor adjustments and tweaks we had to do. This is the world's first Renault 5 EV on air suspension. We knew it wouldn't be easy, but it wasn't as bad as we anticipated, purely because of all that data we provided to our suppliers in the Far East. So yeah, great job with the suspension, and this is how the Renault 5 EV should have left Renault. Now, let's get back to CAS HQ. Let's park the car up, I'll show you the boot install, and we'll talk about the biggest problem that we have to overcome, and that's the wheels. But before I do that, Let me take this corner with some speed and let's see what happens. Okay, fairly flat, very flat actually, I've got to say. I wouldn't have been able to do that previously. Come out that corner with a bit more speed, and there we go. Wow, massive difference. I've got to say, it's like a reimagination of the Renault 5 GT Turbo from the 1990s, but for 2025. So we haven't reinvented the wheel, but what we've done is, I think we've brought back the Renault 5 GT Turbo. So I guess you'd like to see the car aired out, right, wouldn't you? Let's do that now. So this is the new Airlift Performance ALP4 controller. Palm has covered this controller and the difference between the ALP4 and the 3H on a separate video. Go into the description, you can watch that complete episode. We will at some point fabricate a panel to house the controller. At the moment, we just left it loose. So that's the car fully aired out. No silly negative camber, as you can see. The tires do tuck, the wheels don't. Now, talking about wheels, that's been the biggest challenge. The problem we have is that the stock wheels are 6.5J wide by 18, and there's not many aftermarket manufacturers that can do a wheel that's 6.5J. The fronts, we can go up to 8.5 wide, and Palm spent a lot of time scratching his head, getting wheels off the shelf, ordering some wheels in as well from Rotiform, and we managed to get the front to work, but the rears, we can't fit 8 or 8.5 at the back. Possibly 7.5 at a push. Currently we've got spaces on the back as well just to fill the arch out. So that is the challenge. Now in an ideal world, we would have preferred to show you the car aired out with a new set of wheels. But I think we're gonna leave that for another episode. So there'll be a follow-up episode. Now let me show you the boot install. Now currently we still have the sub box in there, the charging cable is here, so let's get that out. Let's get the sub box out as well actually. So underneath the OEM panel, Jay has made a false floor to show the Audison 5-channel amplifier and the airlift manifold. This is so that when we go to events and car shows and so on, we can take the panel off, and it's all lit up as well, we can show that. Just show you what's underneath. Got the compressor there as well. Now, cost-wise, roughly for the Airlift Performance ALP4 management and the X-Low struts, you're looking at £3,900. Supply only. Installation will be extra. If you want us to install the equipment in your car, just drop us a DM or an email and we'll quote you accordingly. We do also think that this suspension kit will fit the Alpine A290. If you're after air ride for an Alpine, drop us a DM, we'll get you into our workshop, and we'll just make sure the suspension setup on the Alpine is the same as the Renault 5, and then we can go from there. So although the car's done, drives fantastic, the wheels are still a challenge. Maybe this is where you guys can have some input. If you think or know of a set of wheels that could potentially fit our Renault 5 E-tech, drop us a DM, drop us an email, and we'll check them out. Maybe a set of Renault wheels, maybe off of McGann, we're not sure. Sean in the background is having a look, scratching his head, as well as Palm is, to find the right set of wheels. So we'll come back to you when it's all done with the wheels, and it's gonna have some livery on there as well, some branding. So another one of our EV cars modified. Let us know what you think in the comments. Most importantly, smash the like button. Make sure you're a subscriber on the channel. There's a lot more content coming your way, including more content on our Renault 5. I'll see you on the next one.